Macks' Michigan Adventures, Chapter 3. After a long drive north, Scott parked his big rig, the Wanderer, near a tall, white lighthouse standing guard over the shore. "We're here, Mac," he said, clipping on the leash. "This is the Great Lakes Shipwreck Museum at Whitefish Point." Mac wagged his tail so hard his whole body wiggled, his nose twitching at the cool, fishy smell of Lake Superior. They walked along a path toward old, weathered buildings that looked like they had seen many storms. "This place tells the stories of ships that didn't make it home," Scott explained to Mac. "We have to be respectful here." Mac seemed to understand, walking calmly beside him instead of chasing the seagulls. Inside, it was quiet. The museum was filled with amazing things, rescued from the bottom of the lake: a ship's wheel, cracked dishes, and even a diver's suit that looked like an old-fashioned robot. Mac's claws made a soft clicking sound on the polished wooden floor. Scott stopped in front of a large exhibit. "This is the story of the most famous one, buddy," he said softly. "The SS Edmund Fitzgerald." He read the words on the wall, telling the story of the mighty ore carrier that was lost in a terrible November storm. Mac whined a little, sensing the sadness in the room. He nudged his wet nose against Scott's hand, as if to say, "I'm here." Scott smiled and scratched behind his ears. "Thanks, pal." In the center of a special room, shining under a single light, was the ship's bell, recovered from the deep. "They brought it back up," Scott whispered, his voice full of awe. "A piece of the ship saved from the bottom of the lake." Mac sat quietly by Scott's feet, not making a sound. It was as if he understood that this was a special, solemn place. He looked up at the bell, his head tilted. After leaving the museum, they walked down to the rocky shore. The waves of Lake Superior, cold and clear, rolled onto the colorful stones. The water stretched out so far it looked like a freshwater ocean. The sun began to set, painting the sky in brilliant shades of orange, pink, and purple. The beam from the Whitefish Point lighthouse started its slow, steady sweep across the dark water, a guiding light for the ships still sailing. Scott put his arm around his furry co-pilot. "The Great Lakes are beautiful, but they're powerful too," he said, looking out at the water. "It's important we remember the stories they hold." Mac licked his hand, ready for whatever adventure tomorrow would bring.